Good afternoon. Hope all is well. You guys enjoyed the inside today?
Nice.
Huh? Made a last-minute shift there. I saw that big blob of green, so I wanted to make sure that we got some good work in the passing game, so I brought him inside. But to go back, last Thursday we went to the United Center and had a good function there. Supposed to be OTA 10, but we decided to do a function there like we did last year at Wrigley. I think the guys enjoyed it. You know, I think everybody likes to shoot hoops. Bigsy can't shoot any hoops, but that's all right. But it was good. We had a fun time, and we enjoyed it for sure. The alumni golf outing up at Strawberry Creek was yesterday. I had a chance to go speak with some of those guys up there. I always enjoy visiting with those. And then also the guys were here today, and I got to watch practice, so that was cool. We got Bill Walsh coaching fellowship going right now, so we got 6 young guys in the building. Learning the ropes and getting with our coaches these next 3 days. So that's pretty cool. We also have 3 scouting guys that are doing the same thing with Ryan. So that's a cool thing. I know you guys will ask about Claypool. He's dealing with a few things right now. He's working with the training staff. He is here. In terms of who's here, who's not here, we got everybody here. So everybody's in the building in some regard, and that's great. And attendance been great. So I want to thank the players the entire time. For this off season. With the coaches, I thanked them the other day. I had a chance to take them guys out to dinner in downtown Chicago last Saturday night, and I got a chance to thank them and their wives for taking the time to build relationships in the off season. And they've done a fantastic job with that, having guys over the house, spending extra time with them, because if you want to be good at something, you got to give it time and attention, and it's got to be real. And I want to thank the coaches for that. So I'll open up to questions from there.
You said Claypool's dealing with multiple things. The plural part of that catches your ear. What's your level of concern as we fast forward towards?
Yeah, just a few minor things that he's working with. And you know what's great about this time of year is we have the luxury of him working with the trainers. You know, he's not in a time crunch, and we can get him, fully healthy working into the summer. Because we have 40 days, when we break from here to get ready for that report to training camp. So that's what we're trying to do.
Matt, have you guys had Darnell Mooney out on the grass at all, running routes, anything like that?
Well, I can just say this: he's progressing, and they have a progression for that. From working, in the water to working on 0 gravity treadmills, all that stuff, and then working on grass. So I'll just tell you this: that he's on track where he's supposed to be.
Has he gotten to grass yet?
He's on track where he's supposed to be. I'm not going to say where he's at right now, but we love where Mooney's at right now.
Now, what about you expected him to be ready for camp?
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
And for Jack Sanborn, is camp the goal for him?
It is. Well, really the goal is to get him to be full speed going into the summer. Into those 40 days. How close that is. It'll be close to be full speed into there, but we're working there, and he's on track too.
As you brought up Claypool, has he been able to get the work with Justin that you wanted, or has this been a hindrance to that part of the process?
Well, I think anytime that you're not on the grass doing, I think it's not as good, obviously. So he started out getting some work, and then he had some setbacks, and he's been working mentally into that. But again, doing's not the same when you're not doing it. So
has he got enough work with Justin that you feel good about that, or is it going to be necessary to get a lot more?
Yeah, I think I think training camp will be big. It'll be big for everybody. It'll be big for Mooney. It'll be big for Clay. Getting the timing and the rhythm down from the other guys do have a head start on because they've been in here and they've done it. And those guys will pick it up. Those guys are both smart. Claypool's been in the system now for a while, and he's getting the motions and shifts and the route disciplines and all that. So we're excited about where that is.
Matt, in practice today, we saw a number of deep shots. I don't know if that was an emphasis today or not, but I was just curious. You're standing right behind the offense as you usually do. Just what was your evaluation from all those?
Yeah, it's great. You got to back them off you. When teams line up in single high or they line up in certain coverages, we're going to take our shots. And I think our guys are doing a really good job with that. And that's really been the theme all off season. And certainly take what they give you, but we certainly are going to take our shots with the matchups we like. And it's fun to see the quarterbacks do that.
Are Cody Whitehair and Lucas Patrick competing for center?
They're-
Seeing them split reps.
Yeah, Cody's there as the starter right now, and then Lucas is working in there because of experience. So he's done that. And really the big thing with those guys is the accuracy of the snaps, and they've done a great job with that. And it's not just in the team periods, it's also in individual. So even when SEMO's going rapid fire, we want to make sure even when they're gassed and tired during individual, we want them to have accurate snaps because if they can do it then, they can do it during the game. So
Is, where's Noah Sewell at, and is Sanborn being sidelined right now, maybe opening up an opportunity for him to really battle for that job in camp?
yeah, we'll see. We'll see where he goes. With rookies, it's always know what to do first. So he knows his assignment, so he can do it fast, and he's getting better at it. We love his instincts. He's a very instinctual player, and so is Jack. Jack is a very instinctual player. He plays multiple positions. For us, but Jack will be the starter there going into it, and then we'll see how what Noah can do to press him.
With Nate Davis participating for the second week, I know it's no pads and you can't really tell much from the offensive line, but how nice is it to have basically the projected starting line working together out there like that?
Yeah, it's been good, and in fact, I just talked to SEMO earlier today about it, and the continuity that's really starting to gel. Having guys next to each other, Braxton next to the guard, and then also him, Nate next to the other young guard. So they've got some youth next to some experience there. So we like it, and it's starting to gel. Hopefully it won't be the moving chairs like we had last year, which is always difficult. You like to have some continuity in there, and hopefully we can get that done.
Coach, it seemed like during that same period today, second unit on defense kind of got the better of the offense. At this point in the process, no pads, how do you kind of evaluate that? Good for the defense, bad for the offense. How do you go about evaluating that?
Yeah, it's always hard because of when you have no pads on, it's hard to run. When you try, that's why we don't do a lot of full run periods this time of year. We've kind of adjusted that from last year, and it's also hard to pass pro when you don't have pads on. There's no broad page surface pads to block, so it's definitely difficult for the offensive line to be able to do that.
So what are you specifically watching in those periods to make sure is it assignment, technique?
Yeah, it's exactly assignment, technique, execution. But you certainly have to look at those things when you're evaluating the whole big picture.
When you look at Terrell Lewis, I know you guys signed him this off season. What do you like about him? Potentially, the pressures that he got in the team period,
Yeah.
that he stood out a little bit. Is that a role that you envision him competing for?
Yeah, I think he can do that. I really think that's what his trait is his ability to get off on the football and rush the passer. And we'll see how far it goes during training camp, and see how far he goes with it.
Man, with regard to the evaluation, when you look at the film of this practice, say, it's a massive thing for one person for you to look at. What are you looking for? Do you have like mental notes in your head, like here's something I want to see, or how do you evaluate that, and what do you look for?
So when the offensive staff and defensive staff look at the tape, they take notes, and comments on each play, and they write it down. I do the same thing when I watch it separately. So and then we compare notes and we talk to it. And then what I do tomorrow morning is I'll go through each coach and I'll sit down in the room and talk to them and say, hey, this guy, this player A, player B, player C at each position, and we'll talk about where his day was yesterday. And I like to do that individually because I can spend more time with a guy if I need to, with a certain position. And that to me is a great way to do it. So you really have time and attention on each position.
Do you ever get surprised when you watch things you didn't notice or whatever, or do you?
Not very many times, no.
Matt, I know you guys put an emphasis on the NFC North and how you do in your own division.
Yeah.
Beside the obvious in the quarterback in Green Bay, what's the biggest change you've noticed about how this year's NFC North is going to be different than last year's?
Yeah, we'll dive into that as we go. We're really focusing on ourselves right now during this time of year, relationships, execution, building our team. And, of course, we're going to do some summer reports as we look at those things, and we'll get those things as we go at the end of this week. And we'll finalize those things as we get into training camp.
What do your summer reports look like, or vaguely?
Well, we always look at personnel, the personnel changes, the acquisitions that they had, the strengths and weaknesses of each guy that we face. And then we'll start scheming up those guys going into the summer. We may do some periods in training camp that reflect that, in a certain division, a certain team that we don't see all the time. It may be out of division. So we'll do those things.
Scouts or assistant coaches who do it, or
both? No, they both help.
Matt, what's your value defensively? What are you looking at with Tyreek Stevenson right now, and what has he done to kind of earn some trust here early on?
He's really showed what he showed in college. Really good ball skills, length, instincts, competitive. He's shown all those things, and he's had a couple nice interceptions during the course of this off season. And now it's just about him going in. I know he's going back home to train in the summer, about him getting in an elite shape to make sure he can compete like he wants to.
How would you describe kind of that competitive confidence that he has?
Yeah, it's a little bit ahead, I would say. It seems more like a veteran to me than it does a rookie, which is kind of cool to be able to watch that. And he's very confident. I think the guys gravitate towards him. He's a likable guy because he does love football, and he is competitive. And so I think he fits well with Gordon and Brisker and Eddie, all those guys that are really competitive, that like to grind it and like to practice.
With a guy like Lucas who had the injuries last season and kind of dealing with it, what do you tell a player like that in terms of competing for a role and where he stands on the depth chart right now?
Yeah, Lucas has done an outstanding job. He's really changed his body. He's really been working that physical side of it so he can stay in there and stay healthy, and he's going to continue to do that. So we're happy where he is in terms of competing inside. And we know how this season goes. You guys have covered football a long time. You know, at all positions, we're going to need everybody. You know, at some point, somebody's going to step in there and be a starter. And we're fortunate to have Lucas, who started in that position. Not to say that he's not going to compete for those starting spots that are inside, and he's going to. And we'll see where it goes during training camp.
What's your with Eddie Jackson? That is a player that you guys inherited.
Yes.
And could have gone either way, especially with his contract. Could have been a guy that you cleared out to kind of clean things up financially. What did it mean, or how valuable is it to you guys in the big picture as you're looking for pieces that he went the way he did and became somebody that you could count on?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, Eddie is, like I've said before, I believe, you know, he's been a true pro. He works his tail off. He's worked his way back into position, you know, from that injury, and it wasn't easy. But his love of football helped him to do it, and it's infectious for him the way he works, and the experience he brings to the table for our entire secondary, because we have a pretty young secondary now, and he's that one guy in there that likes to bring, has that experience, and brings that know-how and what to do and how to do it to our room there. So really love where Eddie is right now.